But look, Russ, pleased to have you back on Last Word on Spurs. Let's dissect it with you. Look, it was a much, much better second half than the first, which has been a lot of the case of the season. But look, the football was a lot better in that second half, and it is a lot easier, as we've seen with Tottenham, when you do not go 2-0 down, as we've seen a number of times at half-time. So, Russ, give me your thoughts on the London Derby win against West Ham.
Well, first and foremost, it's great because it really upsets them more than it elates us for some reason. You know, they seem to think that we're their major rivals, which clearly we're not. Nice to see them in the bottom three, of course. Always a beautiful thing on a Sunday evening. Only joking, Hammers fans. I think Kulusevski is slightly off form at the moment. Don't know what the problem is. Could be an injury. But really, since after we resumed after the World Cup, I don't think he's quite been the player that he was, but it happens, doesn't it? And, you know, we've had a lot of comments tonight, haven't we, Ricky, on Sonny not starting. I think a lot of Spurs fans probably thought that was a good thing. And as it turned out, he came on, he looked twice as quick as he's looked for weeks and scored a wonderful goal in Son style that we've been so used to seeing him scoring in that way, haven't we, over the last 3, 4, 5 years. And as a little fella was holding up the phone at the end of the game for people who were watching on television, Sonny is already a Tottenham legend. And we all know that. You know, we all love him. But he had a smile on his face after the game. He was interviewed with Ben Davies, who incidentally was Sky's man of the match. Oh, sorry. You've got to be PC player of the match.
Player of the match.
Yeah, wow. That makes a big difference, doesn't it? But anyway, so, you know, should he be our super sub? No, I don't think he should. I think 9 times out of 10 he'll start because I don't know what everybody else thinks. And I'll throw it out there. I'm going to shut up now. Richarlison, for me, he looks literally like a square peg in a round hole at Spurs at the moment. And we know he's a really good player. Look what he did for Brazil, admittedly in a different position. I know that. But we've got to find, if we're spending money on players like that with obvious talent, the best way to get it out of them. And at the moment, for whatever reason, it's not happening, in my opinion.
It's interesting what you say that. I mean, I think the thing is, we say it's a lot on Last One on Spurs that, you know, Daniel would have thought to himself, and we've made, I think you've said this as well, Russ, when he's made these big money signings, you can maybe understand to some degree why he's very hesitant to put down the huge amount of cash when he's done it with Ndombele, Lo Celso, Richarlison, and they haven't really simply given a return on that. Now, I think with Richarlison, for me, and that might sound absolutely insane when you're just saying this is the guy that won the Golden Boot last season. But if that's what it's got to take to motivate him, then I don't know. Look,
or change formation, play 4-4-2 and put him in the middle.
Well, I agree. Why have we got to be so stubborn with that formation? Chris, coming over to you.
I would love to see us play 4-4-2, to be honest. It'd be better than what we're playing now.
I think there's... I mean, we hear a lot about Conte with, you know, the natural where he has got a... Well, at Chelsea, he did change up a couple of times with the formation. I think you can arguably say at Tottenham, we have seen a much more rigid stubbornness with regards to the formation. But I don't see why, if you've got the players and the personnel there, why you can't change it up. But Chris, to focus back on the football, he did react to being subbed again, or subbed, being left on the bench, because just 4.5 minutes it took for him to come onto the pitch and score. So is this almost like a new formula now, Chris, where it does suit him to be more of a off-the-bench player than a starter, in your opinion?
I mean, something's gone on, hasn't it? I don't know. I mean, he's gone from being, I mean, how many years has he been so fabulous and consistent for us that this season there's something has happened. I don't know what it is. Whether he's tired, he's been playing, he's played an awful lot of football. Whether it's a confidence thing, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he took his goal so well that his goal was classic Son, wasn't it? You know, just taking it in his stride and bringing the ball with him. And then, you know, the finish was just textbook. Obviously being set up by Kane as well. It was something that we've seen, you know, hundreds of times, but not recently. But yeah, I think it's great to see him scoring. It's great to see him smiling. He is a legend. He absolutely is a legend. Again, he tries his best. But even with his play today, you can still see those issues there, can't you? Where he sort of runs beyond the ball, and you know, he runs himself into trouble, or he, you know, the step over step. You know, I don't quite understand what's going on there. For me, whenever I've played football, when it's not going right, you go straight back to basics and try and feel your way back into a game or feel your way back into a bit of rhythm. And I'll caveat, I was not the player, some was, but I don't know, it's not quite. It just doesn't seem to be quite happening for him. But the goal was fabulous, and you know, he is ratcheting up a few now. So hopefully, you know, he just gets that sort of, I don't know, whatever it is, that pressure, that expectation, that, you know, he's being too hard on himself. You know, obviously his expectation levels are sky high, as is those of his father and his team around him. So yeah, you just want him to get a few in quick succession and just forget about it and move on. You know, don't look back, just look forward. But yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, he is a fabulous player, and he's like a lovely person, doesn't he? And yeah, I wish him the very, very best, not just for Tottenham, but for himself as well. You know, it's not nice to see him sat on the bench. It's not nice to see him not playing well, because he's got, and I think he's a real. He feels like he's got a real presence around the club as well. You know, he's got a real positive influence on those around him. You know, he's very, very close to a lot of players, been there a long time. So yeah, fingers crossed. But we've seen this a few times, haven't we? You know, where we think, oh, he's got a few, or he's, you know, the hat trick or the brace or the goal against Palace or whatever it might be. You think that's it, he's going to kick on now, and then he doesn't quite. But yeah, the more goals, you know, he gets, it will happen for him. You know, it's that cliche, isn't it? You know, form is temporary, class is permanent, or whatever it is. You know, it will come for him 100%. You know, you don't go from being golden boot winner and scoring however many goals it is. He's 100 Prem goals now, isn't he? I think maybe 101 now, whatever it is. But yeah, fingers crossed he can get back to playing like he used to.